Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 13 of the Hybrid Athlete Podcast. Today is going to be a good one. I got one set up where we talk about quite a few things. First off, I'm going to say my website is pretty much done, finalized. So a lot of the programming that I talk about here in this video is going to be accessible from the products and services page of my website, hybridlivingathletics.com. So check that out. It's going to be a great platform for me to kind of share my work and my progress with a few other things in terms of my youth fitness program, which I'm going to try to do for my son's school in District 6 here where I live in Weld County in Colorado. So information on that is going to be coming soon and posted to the website as well. So first off, let me just get into kind of what I wanted to talk about today in terms of my individual program, kind of a reflection from me, an example of what I'm looking to push to other people and to post is kind of the main advertisement of what I sell personally in terms of like a fitness plan or like a diet plan mixed with an exercise plan. So I've done episodes in the past where I gave some concrete examples of what exactly, each diet entails, what exactly, the caloric intake will be, how it changes. Last week, I talked about the plateau, kind of the stepwise incremental increase of calorie intake based off of workout intensity. So I want us to dive into one that I'm doing right now that I'm in phase 2 of, which I've done. I've gone into basically I'm almost 2 months into since my Ironman race. I'm pretty much 2 months into like a bulk type of phase. Apart from when I did my triathlon, my miniature triathlon race where it was like a row bike run, but that doesn't take too much, heavy training. It's just kind of one of those things where as long as you stay fit, you can do it. So I did pretty well on that. But at this point in time, I have no intentions of running more than 10 miles ever until next February. So my philosophy is get as strong, as big as I can, stay lean, but still bulk and get strong. So one of the programs that I promote on my website, again, there's a link that I'm going to be sharing by September 1st. It's going to have just a nice snapshot and a nice UI interactable demonstration of what my program is for bodybuilding. So my bodybuilding programs are split into either like a heavy bulk, like just a strength-based, almost like powerlifting, like low rep bodybuilding one, and then more of like a hypertrophy. You're looking for pretty much like rep range between like 10 to 15 reps for a lot of sets and exercises, especially on the smaller muscle groups. But what I'm going to go through is kind of like what I've discovered works best for me and what I'm using on a week-to-week basis. And what I'm discovering is getting me pretty good results for given where I was like a month ago or even 6 weeks ago. And given the fact that I've been training hard for like 4 to 5 years. So I'm not like a seasoned, long-term weightlifter. But I mean, I lifted when I was younger in sports and stuff, but not consistently. I got into lifting as a teenager, but I got really skinny like in my 20s, and I think I talked about that. And there's a picture of me on my website where I'm literally like 148, 150 pounds, and I'm 6'1", 6'1.5", which is kind of ridiculous. Which is the whole reason why I got sick and why I became anemic for a while. But that's near here nor there. What I want to talk about is the program that I'm doing right now. So it's a 6-day-a-week program. And I got my whiteboard here, so I'm going to bring this up and show you guys exactly what each day is, and kind of go through each individual day and kind of align it with my diet. I've done this once before, but I think it's good to kind of do this as another iteration for me and for all of you who watch these in full length. I think it's going to bring a lot of value, and this obviously is free. So if this sparks your interest and you want to, pay the monthly fee, no contract. If you want to get involved with me personally and start up one of these programs, I mean, they're definitely going to pay dividends. And I got a few people who I work closely with who are going to kind of provide some testimonies for me to help me out. But believe me, I wouldn't be so convinced, and I wouldn't speak with such conviction about this type of training if I didn't believe that it worked for me and I didn't see it work for me individually. I post enough of my shorts on kind of my physique updates and how my body's size and strength changes over the years. So especially between endurance and the weightlifting. So let me pull this bad boy out. So today we're looking at how we go through each day of the week. So it's kind of a glare here. Let's see. Whoops, this too. Leave it like this. Okay, so basically what you're looking at is Monday, where I start with chest and arms. So I want to start out the week with high intensity and do as much, basically work out the entire body in the first 3 days. So I go Monday through Wednesday, and you'll see here I do a chest workout with arms, and then I do Tuesday, I do a back workout with triceps. So I lift my arms. I mean, I do like, isolated movements, like just curls or something or extensions, pretty much like every day I work out at least 4 to 5 days. Even on a leg day, I might finish just with some curls or something just to kind of um, get hypertrophy and do as much as I can, and just tear down those muscles. So I've discovered that arms for me recover quick. I wouldn't do a leg workout every day because leg is a big muscle group, or back, for example. But when it comes to arms and just building bigger arms overall, I mean, plenty of top level professionals and people who are in the industry, as they say. I mean, they say you can do arms every day. Who doesn't want bigger arms? I mean, it's a vanity lift. It just makes you look bigger. It makes you feel better. It makes you look better with clothes on and all that. So how can you go wrong doing more arms? Anyways, so chest is like the first Monday workout where it's high intensity. I do basically like 5 to 10 reps pretty much. So like I'll go now. I'm worked up. I worked up finally back to like 2 plates of 225. So I'm finally doing like repping that out like 4, 5, 6 reps of 225, which is a nice confidence builder for me because I haven't been strong like this in a while. So it feels good to kind of, get my body weight up a little bit and get my strength back and just kind of feel that durability in the gym, weightlifting. One side note I'll mention is if you're a hybrid athlete and you're trying to do both, you might get discouraged sometimes because if you're trying to, run a lot and you're really like pushing the miles and then you're trying to go into the gym and get a good workout, you're not always going to get that great, carb induced pump and that great feeling of like, man, I'm just, crushing these weights, just driving these reps and driving this volume. It's not going to be the same when you're running a lot. So for me, I enjoy this time of the year because I'm like, oh, thank God this is back. Like I can just crush these weights. I can just get in there, be intense for like an hour and a half, not lose energy, not feel fatigued, not feel kind of depleted or just weak, or my bones. Sometimes when I run a lot and work out, I just feel like my bones, like, not to a point where my joints hurt and it's unhealthy, but just to a point where like, man, I'm definitely overworked and like I need a deload or a day off or something. But here with this time of year, like my weights they're the top priority, which I love. So hence I'm in the phase 2 of the bodybuilding program. So phase 2 goes from like the weight goes up. So basically, like I just said, like with this bench press, like my weight's gone up from like repping out 205 to repping 225, same rep scheme, progressive overload. So that's like a nice, I guess, growth and kind of just continuous but non-linear growth into more strength and just higher performance in the gym with weights. So that's first day chest. And I have everything listed on the program. You can check out my website, but it's basically like 15 to 20 reps of just chest. And if you're going to work out chest, I work out chest 2 days a week. So you'll see over here on Saturday, I have a filler day. So a lot of times that'll be like incline chest. So my second day of the week of working on chest is going to be here. Well, I'll do like dumbbell inclines or like cable. I like cable machine flies because they really open up my chest and get that stretch. And then I just on the concentric movement, I really just squeeze with the cables, which definitely gives me like a nice pump. And you kind of build that shelf. Us guys, we want to, sideways kind of, you want that side profile kind of dominating look. If you're a weightlifter, if you're a guy that wants to look bigger, you really want to build that upper shelf in your chest. So cable flies, I call them like the Wolverine movement, where you basically just, you're coming up like this and it almost looks like you're Wolverine with the claws. You set that setting on the cable a little bit lower. So you come up with the machine, you come up with the cable, as opposed to setting it high and kind of going straight across or down. So that's like a nice side note on how you could do it on the best method and best practice. So moving on to Tuesday, I have my back workout. So that's back number 1. And another thing I do, another muscle group that I work out twice a week is back. So I do chest and back twice a week. And then I do legs pretty much once a week because you'll see why I want to get into Wednesday, but I need almost a full week to recover if I'm going to have a good workout, a full intensity workout the following week. So this is back variation 1, which is like these 3 exercises. So I split back 2 into 3 exercises and back variation 1 into 3 primary exercises, 5 sets each. That's 15 total sets just for back. So back variation 1 is going to be lat bar pull downs on the machine. It's going to be seated cable rows. So just with the hex bar. So seated cable rows and then pull-ups. So pull-ups kind of vary, but I like to do 5 sets as many as possible. A lot of times if I open it with some cardio, just on like a quick warm-up cardio machine, like 15-minute bike or like a 10, 20-minute run, I'll get into a pull-up session where I do 5 sets, as many as I can. So like you go to like form failure, they'll go to failure, but form failure is basically defined as you can't do another rep without like cheating, or, if you're on a pull-up bar, you just kind of swing and pull yourself up and jerk up. So basically what I'm doing is I am doing a set until my reps become basically failure. And if the first rep doesn't look like the last rep, that's when I stop. So, a lot of times I'll get to like 18, 20, then the second set would be like 15, 16. It kind of just escalates down, just kind of a reverse pyramid on that in 5 sets. So that's like a nice way to really like activate the lats, get the muscles warmed up. From there, I go into exercise 2, which is a lat bar pull down. So lat machine pull down, I believe, is great as long as you don't, same thing, like just don't jerk the weight back. And if you're basically just like moving the machine and swaying back, you want the arch of your back to facilitate the movement, but you want to hold this parallel to the weights. So you want to keep like a perpendicular basically relationship like this. So this is the cable bar moving back and forth, and this is your back. So like if I'm like this, I'm not doing a lat pull down like this. I'm kind of leaning back a little bit, but I'm going to keep that angle and keep that basically that perpendicular relationship for the entire workout. And that's going to help you in terms of form, basically just creating like a replicable form that you do every time. And that's going to help with consistency and growth. So back day is those 3 exercises: pull-ups, lat bar pull down, and then seated horizontal cable rows. And then tricep workouts, like I kind of get a little bit instinctive. It's basically just like a non-linear kind of flexible plan where I might just do like skull crushers, like with a hex bar. I might go into rope extensions. I love those. You really work on your lateral head, the tricep head. When you have that rope extension, you go all the way down. I mean, I can't even count how many times I've seen, people like Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman or Kai Green or anyone who's like a social media kind of juggernaut, just kind of go all in on triceps and just talk about how the weight doesn't matter. Just full extension, squeeze at the end, squeeze at the top or the bottom. That's just so important for just getting like your arms to grow. And I believe my arms grow pretty quick at this stage, kind of in my, I wouldn't call it a career, but in my fitness life, I get my arms to grow pretty damn quick. So I'm happy with that. Wednesday. So Wednesday's legs. And Wednesday I just do 1 day of full legs, and I might mix in a couple of machine work exercises on Saturday for legs, which is kind of why Saturday is like the flexible, the filler workout, where I do like an underlying approach, which basically just means I go by feel. So I've discovered that works best for me is to start with deadlifts, and I really like pre-exhaust the quads that way. So when I'm pulling, I usually pull like 315 to 365 for like sets of 5, 6 reps. So as soon as I get into like a place where I'm on my 6th set, I do like a drop set. So I'll do 6 sets of deadlifts where that 6th set is like drop set 225, just pull out like just a quick 20 reps or something, and then kind of use that blood flow and use that pre-exhaust, kind of that hypertrophy, to go right into squats. And squats is really where I just build like fatigue in the workout, and I really just destroy the muscle. From my experience, based on your stance in a squat, you can work both hamstrings and quads. So I kind of go for a somewhat narrower stance on squats just because I'm confident that I'm still working the quads, and that's where I feel it the most. If you're not feeling the rep, if you're not feeling the exercise, there's something you got to do to change. Like some people have said that using the hip sled really gets them, the laid back hip sled where you're just pushing the machine up from your back. That can stabilize your posterior. That could help you with form, with joint pain, etc. But as long as you can get out of that hole in a squat and you can go parallel or even below, and then you don't have joint pain, I mean, that's a nice, intense way really to build your legs from my experience. I'm starting to get that feeling where I get a nice pump, and, I'm eating a lot more, and like I'm not running as much, and like I really get like that, your legs feel like a balloon feeling. I love getting that feeling because the workout's working. So I'm kind of at a place with that with my leg workouts, and I just like dedicating the mental aspect to it is where you're kind of intimidated, or you're almost like anxious or fearful on leg day. That's another thing that so many pros talk about is like, it's leg day, it's like the most intense day of the week. I mean, you kill yourself on leg day. So having that 1 day a week where you're just like, all right, let's be a warrior, let's go. I think that's good for anyone who's getting into fitness and anyone who wants to develop like a stronger mindset in the way that they approach their fitness. I think it's important and it's essential. Wednesday legs, those are the 2 primary exercises. Then I go into like some basically leg extensions, leg curls. So just seated or lying down machine. Do 5 sets of each. So you're looking at 21 sets before you get into like the final 2 exercises. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 exercises, right? So deadlifts, squat, leg extensions, and then leg curls on the machine. So that's 4 exercises. I finish with walking lunges with dumbbells, and then calf raises. So my calves have always been a weak point genetically. Like, we don't really have very good calves in my family. So I kind of focus on that. That's another thing I might do the second time on Saturday, just calf raises. So again, on that one, whatever hurts the most, do that. Whatever burns the most. If it's seated, if it's standing, if it's that machine that you go grab by the shoulders, if it's a seated machine that basically just the apparatus, the fulcrum's at the knee, do that. Whatever really makes you basically just jump up in pain, and then just you're going to grow that way, and then just do at least like 3 to 4 sets with that. So that's definitely an important thing you want to focus on, is finishing the leg workout with the smaller parts of the leg. Like, the hamstring is smaller than the quadricep. Burn out on the hamstring curls. 5-6 sets, whatever intensity, whatever weight works for you, where you can barely get like 8 to 10 reps on the last set. Slow repetitions, like slow on the up, lower it down, slow on the down. Take 2 to 3 seconds of tempo. I mean, that will really get you to grow on your hamstrings. It kind of gets you that nice swoop if you're trying to build your legs. So moving on to Thursday. So Thursday, I like this day. For me, it's shoulders and HIIT. So HIIT, high intensity interval training. I use usually boxing on that day, where I'll hit the bag for like 5 rounds of 3 minutes to 2.5 minutes to 2 minutes. I do either like a pyramid down on time, or just like a flat high intensity, maybe just like power to technique and back and forth. So I actually put a short of me boxing on my channel. And I think boxing is a great way to build like symmetry in your body and work your foot, get your footwork. There's plenty of YouTubers that do it. Who's comes to mind? What's his name? Mike Rashid. I think his name is Mike Rashid. Yeah, he's like a legendary boxer on YouTube. So he's got some great kind of training footage and stuff, and training classes where he kind of teaches you the basics, and keep your hands up, cover your face, stuff like that. Footwork is essential. So I might include some jump rope into that, and just kind of work on my balance and my athleticism overall. I might throw in some box jumps with that. So just up and overs, 20 sets, mix in like some kettlebell swings or something, just to keep working the shoulders. So that day is a really nice day to really burn out the shoulders. Like between like boxing will work the hell out of your rear delts. So I've developed some bigger shoulders just from doing boxing lately, which I like and I appreciate. And then, yeah, just like the weights too, like dumbbell press, 3 exercises. So the foundation of a lot of my workouts is like picking 3 exercises to do 5 heavy top sets in each exercise. So you can remember it as like a 3x5, I guess, in whichever phase of the workout you're in. And those 3x5, basically total work increases every phase. So right, I said I'm in phase 2, right? So in phase 1, I might have done 50-pound dumbbells for 5 sets on overhead dumbbell press. Now I'll do 55, 60-pound dumbbells for the same rep scheme, and I'll remember that. I'll document that. Now that, in end of July, I was doing phase 1, finishing up with phase 1. Now we're approaching September. I'm going to get heavy into phase 2. I want to see that weight increase, that rep scheme stay the same, or vice versa. See that rep scheme increase when the weight's held constant or stayed the same. Shoulders is pretty self-explanatory. It's a smaller muscle group, but you just want to basically get as much blood flow as you can. It's the easiest muscle to grow. So as long as you focus on basically your angle, like if you're doing a lateral dumbbell raise, I can make a video on this, or just a short, or, you can just refer to it. Like Seth Feroce is a great, his channel, Axe and Sledge, he does a great job of like just running that guy literally runs the rack on dumbbells for lateral raises. And he's got some of the biggest shoulders in the game, and he's not even a professional bodybuilder anymore. There's some great resources out there to learn about technique and working the angles to build your shoulders. Back number 2. So back number 2 also has 3 exercises, but they're different. So on back number 1, we did pull-ups, lat bar pull down, and seated T-bell row, or T-bar row. And then this time we're doing a dumbbell row. So just a standing dumbbell row. You might use a bench just for leverage. T-bar row. So T-bar, you did the hex bar row on back variation 1, and then back variation 2 is a T-bar row. And then we finish up with barbell rows. So barbell rows might be the first exercise actually a lot of times, because it's the heaviest exercise. But all I need to do like 185 or 205 pounds, focus on keeping my back straight, and just row it, and just basically just keep your back straight. You can bend a little bit, like you can kind of bend over at like a 45-degree angle. Just make sure like you're not curling your back. It's the same technique as a deadlift. Deadlift, you're going to fuck up your back if you don't keep your back straight. So same thing with the barbell rows. I first started out kind of feeling kind of awkward, like just kind of jerking the weight and going up, and like my head was moving like this much. And then I'm like, whoa, stop doing that. So just keep your head straight, keep your back straight, look up and just focus on squeezing at the top and having that scapular kind of load at the top. And that's really the key to any back workout. I'm probably going to do like an entire kind of talk or session, short form video on back overall, because that was the hardest muscle group for me to grow when I was first starting out as an amateur and a beginner. And now that I'm kind of getting into more of the advanced, eventually, hopefully the elite range of exercise and of bodybuilding and weightlifting. I mean, I can speak a lot about that. Like the back is all about just feeling it as much as you feel like a chest or a leg or a shoulder workout. It's hard to get a pump. It's hard to feel that muscle work and that hypertrophy kick in. But once you kind of get that cell just to swell, and you really feel like the tree, like your posterior chain just working whatever angle you work. Like if it's seated, there's a reason why I do seated mixed with lateral raises. I'm working different angles of the back. Same thing on back variation number 2. You think about it. A barbell row is more horizontal. But again, I go to like dumbbell rows, which is horizontal. And then I have like a T-bar row, which is a little bit more standing up and a little bit more vertical. So I'm working, here to here on the angles in terms of your back. Your back's a big muscle group to work. And if you're not careful, you're gonna have a scrawny back and a big front side, which is what I suffered from most of my youth growing up. So anyways, Saturday is the last day. And then on Friday, just some legs. Or sorry, some biceps or some arms. So just bicep curls, cable curls, 777s. I love those. So basically you just do a curl that's like a half rep. So you do a curl up to here, and then you start here and you do a curl 7 reps like this, and then you do 7 full reps. So 777, 21 reps in the set. 50-pound barbell will really work you good on that. So there's different ways. There's cheat curls, which Arnold Schwarzenegger has spoken about, where you basically just swing your back a little bit and you can curl like 135 pounds. I think there's a time and a place for that. I tend to lean away to just kind of avoid that. I do it every now and then, maybe on like a shoulder day or a hit day. If I'm doing boxing, I'll grab I'll load up like a 45-pound barbell with 35-pound plates, and I'll curl like 105, just kind of a little bit cheat curl, but still, engaging the muscle and kind of using that lever. But to each their own. I mean, if you get joint pain from that, don't do it. If you're capable of doing it, it's another option for you. So that is a nice little add-on to some of your the weekly programming if you want to. Or you don't even have to do it. Maybe if you're feeling really good in a week, you can kind of add that in. Or if you kind of want to take it lighter on arms a different week, if you're getting some joint pain or muscles are more sore, you can kind of work those in and out. Saturday is a filler day is important just for me, because I kind of want to fill the gap in anything that I don't. By the time I get to Saturday, my body's pretty tired. I mean, I'm not fresh. I mean, this is 6 days in a row of working out. So some people like to do basically a 3 split, a 2-3 day split. So on, off, on, off, something like that. 2 on, 1 off. People do that too. I've just discovered that for me mentally, I like being in there on 6 days, and I really like to feel like I have to earn my off day. And the reason why this 6 day is just kind of like a filler, like kind of like a random opportunity or random option, is because you're not going to feel the same every week. There might be a day where you had a higher energy, that you didn't sleep that good the night before, and you didn't really have that great of a back workout. So you throw in some extra back work on Saturday, or vice versa. If your leg day went well, but you kind of recovered and you're kind of getting stronger, which is my case. Like I'm adding legs in for a second day on Saturday, just because my legs are getting more recovered and more into the season of bodybuilding type workouts. When I first came back from endurance season in June, end of June and early July, I would do a heavy ass leg workout and I would be sore for like 7 days, literally 6 to 7 days. Like the next day, it was hard to sit down. The day after that, it got a little bit better. Like peak soreness was like 2 or 3 days after. People who do heavy legs know what I'm talking about. Like you're sore 2 to 3 days after than you are the day immediately after. So now that I'm just kind of added some body weight and some strength and definitely some leg performance, I can do that on a Saturday, which is kind of another one of my fillers as an option. And one last note that I put in here was just the calorie intake that I'm on. So I'm doing between 4,250 to 4,600 calories a day. And my body weight's been pretty stagnant at like 183, 184. So another thing that I'm going to start doing next week, and actually even today, because today's my day off, so I'm going to eat like 5,500 calories. Kind of a cheat day a little bit, just adding more of the same, more rice, more beef, more salad, more vegetables, more of the same, but just more calories. But I put this on here just as a note, so my programs kind of align and they're synchronized with my my diet programs and my workout programs. So this 6-day template is what I use for the bodybuilding people out there who want to have a bodybuilding program. So I think that's important to kind of align your diet with your energy requirements. So I've got a pretty good gauge on energy requirements for myself and kind of what I need to take in terms of food and what I need to consume. But I'll save that for another episode. This was just kind of like a legitimate rundown of my bodybuilding program and what I'm doing me personally. I would encourage, or I would advertise this one for anyone who's my age or even younger, high school athlete, someone who really wants to get to the next level. Maybe you're going into college sports. If I had something like this for me when I was going into college sports, I think my college career as a baseball player would have turned out quite a bit better. I probably would have avoided an injury that really kind of damaged my experience as a college baseball player. I think programs like this are really essential for building muscle and keeping muscle. Another subject I can go over soon is muscle maturity, but the older you get, the more advanced I'm going to get in kind of cycling through endurance into weightlifting. I'm going to fine tune like exactly what body weight is optimal for me. I've determined that my race weight optimal is just under 180, but if I can increase my off-season optimal strength body frame to be like 190 to 195, I can increase my body weight, increase performance, and kind of increase the machine that I have inside of me, so to speak. So just kind of my overall efficiency, my power output, off season, in season stuff like that. On the keto diet, I was very capable of doing a lot more running and really getting into like another Ironman, but I cut that off and going into this, and I think it's going to serve me better in the future. So, but I'll save that for another time, another conversation. It's already we're already 26 minutes in, so I'm going to let y'all go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, reach out to me on my channel here, Nathaniel Verduzco 91. Take a look at my website, hybridlivingathletics.com. All the programs are going to be posted hopefully by the 1st of September, which is the date I committed to. So thank you, everyone. Go out there, be great. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.